Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And a video with some of the just released products from Waffle Flower for their June release. I will have more info in the description box below the video. And if I don't remember when I'm doing all the editing, to also add a link to the Waffle Flower YouTube channel. Definitely go over there and check it out. They did a video in depth, and it's not very long, about the grip mats. They have been re-released. They were not available for a while. It was manufacturer issues, etc. And they're now back. There's a couple different sizes. This one specifically, this is now 7.5 by 11, something like that. Because the original big one was 8.5 square that I've shown in a ton of videos because I love my grip mats. Anyway, so that one was replaced, and then there's an additional little baby mat, but I don't have that to show. But yeah, definitely check out the Waffle Flower video because Nina, the owner of Waffle Flower, just explains it all. So there's no point me repeating all of it. For those that maybe have no, what is she talking about? What is a grip mat? Definitely go check it out. Basically, they are photopolymer, high quality photopolymer, the same material used to actually make high quality photopolymer stamps. Again, I've used a bunch. I've used different brands. I've been using these Waffle Flower ones since they were released. It was over a year ago, whenever it's been, and fully converted. I absolutely love my grip mats. They come in handy, man. So yeah, definitely check out that video though if you want more info. I'll have links to the new release, all of the things, and I made some cards, and I think that's all I have to say. So, links to everything will be below as always. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links, end up placing an order, I get a little kickback at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, funds the channel, etc. And let's get into making some fun cards. So when I was shown these sets as part of the release, did you think I was going to choose just the one or two? No, I went with all four. They're fun and they're big florals. Are we surprised? Is anyone surprised? So we've got the sketched Marigold, sketched Aster, sketched Poppy, and sketched Chrysanthemum. And each little set here, because they're like 4x6 stamp sets, has a large floral image and then a assortment of sentiments. And I took each floral and stamped it onto some smooth white cardstock with intense black ink using my Misty. And I've got my Waffle Flower grip mat. That's been, like I said in the intro, I've been using this for, over a year, however long it's been. Love it. So, inked up each of the images and then stamped them onto the white cardstock. And with these stamp sets, or in coordination with these stamp sets, because you can get just the set. You don't have to get the coordinating stencils, but there are coordinating stencils for each set. And then there's also coordinating wafer dies that will die cut each of the florals. So if you're not into the, layering stencils, that sort of thing, you can just color, and especially images like this, they are very easy to color, and it's nice when they're this size too, like you're not dealing with tiny images. So these would be fun to color, but I've also talked about this. I really enjoy layering stencils, and I really enjoy the Waffle Flower ones because they have kind of an interesting way of layering, which you'll see, and I've shown in other videos with other sets. I love how they choose to layer. It's not just like, a light, a medium to dark. It, adds some interesting little patterns to everything, and that's what I like the most. So that's why I was like, yep, I want the stencils too, because I love how they look. So, and the other thing they do is a lot of the Waffle Flower ones, they're all labeled too. You can't really see it on screen, but each little section is labeled. Like there'll be a circle and it'll say 1, 2, 3, so you know what to start with. And then it'll have things like light, medium, dark, and sometimes even color suggestions, which again, I like that. I like when other people do all the thinking for me and I don't have to do it as much. So, it's just a win-win in my opinion. So I just worked my way through. I used Altenew Fresh Dye inks for all of my stenciling. and these little circle inks, and I've got them in, this is a little like circle sized ink stand. I'll have a link to that as well. I picked up one of these a couple months ago when I started getting into these fresh dye inks, and I was like, ooh, having a little inkstand handy, because it's got little grippy feet on it so that it holds the ink pad in place so they're not sliding all over my workspace. And Brienne, that like started the whole little inkstand company, she's got different shapes. I've shown other ones in previous videos. Like she's got ones that'll hold you know, your regulation size ink pads, and ones that will hold like distress size inks, minis, etc. So there's options. So I'm just using it to hold my ink so that, again, it's not sliding around my work surface. And then I went with just the little grip mat to hold my cardstock. This is the grip mat that fits in the mini Misty. I could have used the larger one, that would have worked, but you guys, this was all the space I had to work with. Everything off camera that you guys can't see. I had ink pads, brushes, stamp sets, stencil. I had so much stuff piled up on my desk. That's pretty much how it is always. It's just an absolute disaster. I'm not kidding when I joke that I need a bigger boat, man. So this one worked though. It held the same thing. It was holding my cardstock in place. The other thing I really love, I can't remember, did I mention that in the beginning? With the new version of these grip mats, the little grid line sheets that come with it, they are all purposely sized slightly smaller. So you've got the grid lines on the back of the grip mats when you put it on there, but it leaves like a border around the edge, which I love. I actually cut down my old, like the original ones. I cut down some of the grid mats to be smaller because it gives just enough having that little bit on the back to cling to my like glass work surface, because anyone who's used a grip mat, and if you have a glass work surface like me, if you have the entire grip mat without any backing, it will almost fuse to your glass surface. It is not easy to move around or to remove. It can be a little bit of a nightmare, but I want it to stay in place. So having that little bit of a border is nice. So if you have the original ones, I just use my paper trimmer, trim down, you know, however much off the edges of the grid sheet, and then stuck it back on the back of my grip mats. And that's how I had it with my, like with the one in my Misty, etc. It just so much more convenient. So the new ones, that's already been done for you. So it's just clinging just enough, holding my cardstock in place, and then I could do all of my stenciling. And I did different colors for every single one of these. Now, if you were a more reasonable person and decided to only get one stamp set, you could still do this though. That would be half the fun, is just stamp multiple times. You know, do a whole bunch of panels at once, because you can just kind of mass produce, but then just do different colors, because that would look really cute too. Oh, that would make such a cute gift set. You know, and then do, in the end, I actually don't use sentiments, and I'll get to that, but you could do like a variety of sentiments, a variety of color combos, and just have a whole stack of cards, you know? So I just kind of worked my way through the rainbow for the most part with all of these and had fun with it. I used my Waffle Flower blending brushes for the vast majority. The only time I used one of Waffle Flower's little shader 1+, like little baby brushes, just for the flower centers on the poppy card. Yeah, everything else I just used my Waffle Flower brushes. I didn't worry about, there was a couple spots here and there on some of them that I accidentally kind of went over the edge of the stencil, you know, got a couple marks on the cardstock. I wasn't worried about that because I'm going to die cut all of these. However, if I wasn't going to die cut these, some of the sections that I was blending, I would just add, you know, a little piece of Post-it tape or a Post-it note, you know, just to protect the cardstock, because again, that's usually what I do, as I end up just making a mess. But it was all good, because as I'm showing now, I just used the coordinating wafer dies to die cut all of these once I was done. So I just taped the wafer dies into place with a little bit of Easy C tape, and then I'll run those all through my die cut machine to die cut all of these. So then I'm going to have florals. And then that was another thing I was thinking of, but again, I need more hours in the day. When they were all die cut, I was like, ooh, if you made like a big card, you know, either a 5x7 or even like a bigger card, and then you could like just have these florals all along the edge of it and all the different colors, like how fun would that be? So if you like making really big cards too, these florals are kind of nice for it, because they're just a nice hefty size. You'll get a better idea of it when I stamp them on the inside panels of the cards. Just, yeah, they're like A2 size. So The other big draw with this release for me was the Oversized Postage. There's a stamp set and then a coordinating die set. And I was like, yes, please. You know, Waffle Flower released their postage collage die set whenever that was. Again, it was over a year ago. There have been many add-ons. I'm still behind on catching up. I'm waiting for them to come back in stock. I will have more videos using those sets. So this is just a nice kind of standalone oversized one. So I die cut just the rectangle from white cardstock, and I used the lightest shades of all the ink blending I did to just blend around the perimeter of these, and lightest shades with the exception of the purple. The purple, I accidentally used the medium shade, but I just went with it. I just went with it. It's fine. It's fine. I made it work. So with that, I just held the cardstock on my glass work surface and just did that quick little bit of blending. Yeah, I went with hydrangea with this purple. It was supposed to be the wisteria, which was the lighter shade, but still, in the end, it's fine. It's fine. So did all my blending, and then I was taking some of the stamps from the Oversized Postage set and stamping them with the same ink colors onto these panels just to add a little extra something. So this will all like dry back a little bit and soften, but again, this is more just kind of pattern, that sort of a thing. So I just put the stamps onto acrylic blocks and stamped it because one, they don't need to be stamped perfectly. They're just there to add just extra detail, fun things like that. So I did that with all of these little panels using the same color of ink that I used for the blending around the perimeter. And then after I do that onto all 4 of these panels, I took one of the denomination stamps, a little, well, it's not little. Again, these are large, the 50-cent stamp, and stamped that in the bottom corner with black ink. So stamp that onto all of them. And then I'm going to adhere all of the die cut florals to these panels, because originally I was going to adhere them and then trim off anything that hung off the edges, but then decided to leave it because I liked how it looked. So I'm just going to adhere these flat to all of these with craft tacky glue, and then I'm going to let the glue dry. And again, you could skip the die cutting, like everything could be stamped like kind of directly onto like these panels or directly onto the actual like postage stamp piece, which you can see there. But I did all of it, like die cut everything because I like the layers and how that looks. But again, options. So got everything adhered together and then adhered these to the white cardstock that I die cut with the large or the Oversized Postage stamp wafer die. And again, like, is it not cute? It's like, there's something about, like, I guess us as card makers, like making our postage themed things. I don't know. I've been having so much fun, you know, with the postage collage stuff. And then this is just like bigger. So I had fun. So I took with the cancellation stamp and I stamped it right on top. It's not going to stamp evenly or nicely because, again, there's layers of cardstock. I'm fine with that, you know, because besides the fact cancellation marks are not, you know, pristine either. So I stamped those, and then I stamped a little like envelope onto it as well, just cause I was loving it. And then of course I'm going to add splatter. I don't know, it's freeing. I think that's also why I really enjoy the whole making my own faux postage and adding cancellation marks, and just it kind of like gives you the license to purposely be messy, you know, because it's like, oh, it's been run through a machine, it's got cancellation marks, they're not perfect. Oh, it's got a bit of schmutz on it, like let's add some splatter. So that's how I see it anyway. I used black soot distress paint, stuck it on my little palette, used my fan brush, put all these in my splat box, added black splatter. And then you always want to make sure, especially with black soot distress paint, to immediately clean it off, immediately wash out your brush, because that stuff dries permanent and it is pigmented. So I set all those backgrounds aside to dry. And then now I've got A2 size panels that I was putting back in my MISTI, and I'm stamping all those florals again, but this time I'm stamping them with the lightest shade of ink. So, and this will give you a visual of that. This is how big these stamps are, because this is an A2 size panel, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And I stamped each of the florals kind of in the same position they are on, or they will be on the card front, with those lighter shades of ink. So use my MISTI for that, because again, these stamps are big. And then once all of these are stamped, I ended up trimming these panels down just to be slightly smaller than what the card base will be, because I decided to go with color cardstock for all my card bases. So I wanted to stamp everything first. Plus I've got like a literal stack of pre-cut A2 panels, because I get asked about that. It's like, why don't you just cut the cardstock down like the size you want before doing anything? And it's like, it's so much faster to cut. I either purchase pre-cut panels sometimes from Simon Says Stamp, or I'll take full sheets of cardstock and just cut them down. 2 slices, cut it in half again, 4 pieces of cardstock. And then when I'm using them, sometimes I trim them down. So anyway, that's the method behind the madness. I stamped the cancellation mark onto the inside panels as well, just because I thought it was cute. So stamped that on the inside, just kept it lower down so that it still gives a plenty of space to write to the recipient. And then sentiments. I decided not to use any. I thought about it because each one of these floral sets has a variety of sentiments. Like we've got, kind of birthday and hello, friendship, sympathy, etc. Like there's a good variety between the 4 sets. But I started overthinking it, and then it was kind of driving me nuts. And then I was like, why not include any sentiments? I was like, then that leaves all these cards open-ended. I can use them for birthday, thinking of you, thank you, whatever. And down the road, if I want to, I could just add a stamped sentiment or a die-cut sentiment to suit the occasion. It's kind of nice sometimes to have like finished cards in the stash that will apply to anything, because it's always when you need a card for something that you don't have one. So now I've got some extras. So those are my cards. Hopefully all my rambling made sense. I've got like 5 million things going on at the moment. And like I said in the intro, I will have links to all the things in the description box below the video. So if you just expand that, you can check it all out below. And as always, thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my videos, for engaging with them by, thumbs upping and commenting. It really does help. It just kind of helps push things out a little further with the robot overlords and the algorithms, and I very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I would love to have you, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.